As you can see, this is a tier list of all synergies in Omniheroes, not just the Valkyrie synergies like Glorian and Avengers. It's all the synergies. But this tier list is only about the synergy itself. Take Protector for example. So Protector synergy is in D tier, but there are a lot of good units that are Protectors. For example, Katrina is a really good unit and she's a Protector. But that doesn't mean the Protector synergy is good. So the Protector synergy increase the defense of the synergy mate by 5% every round, and at 3 piece it apply to all allies. So this is very weak. If we compare this to like strikers, so strikers increase attack by 25% every round. So I think the reasons they make strikers stronger and the protector weaker is because if you have a unit increase defense every round and this number isn't 5%, it's bigger, eventually that unit will become unkillable, and that's like not healthy for the game. So they kind of want protector and striker to be like opposite of each other, but for the defense, I think it's like a really bad design to have them increase by 5% every round. So if I were to redesign this, I will make it like straight up giving 50% defense like on combat star and that's it. Or maybe if we want to go by the opposite, we can have them like increase defense by 75% on battle start and it's decrease 5% every round. Anyway, at 4 and 5 piece, they will have the ability to counter attack whenever they receive attack. And this effect is also not very good because the chance is pretty low, and even if you did trigger the repulse, it won't have much impact on the game. So yeah, this is why Ethereal is only in B tier. We say Ethereal is good because there are a lot of broken heroes in Ethereal such as Eudora, Dorabella, Katrina, and Karnak, but that doesn't mean the Ethereal synergy is that impactful. So if we compare to like Valianter, we can see that there will be a lot of people. There are a lot of people who splash Eudora into a Valianter team. So something like this, well, nowadays maybe Liliandra would be a better option. So they play this team, and that's because Eudora is a broken hero, but Valianter synergy is a bit better than like Ethereal's, for in my opinion, because like Valianter's damage increase is more than Ethereal's crit damage increase, if you get what I'm saying. And there are also people. This is a very popular build, by the way. So play they play Eudora in Glorian for the control immunity. So there's Seraphina and Gloria, and they also put Navi in the front and this. So sometimes they even drop Navi for Catherine to get more damage. So yeah, so this team is actually is a bit more expensive than the Ethereal team, but is a lot stronger because it has the better synergies like the demon and two celestial and three glorian and three strikers, and these will make Eudora like better. This team is better than like standard ethereal. So yeah, this tier list is a ranking of how impactful each synergy is when you are activating them so that it will help you in team building. Okay, so there are some additional notes I need to make for this tier list. So you see these numbers here near the some of these synergies. These are some key breakpoints. So for example, Glorian 3 is a very important breakpoint. Glorian 2 almost doesn't do anything, but Glorian 3 it will grant you control immunity for the first two rounds of the battle. So as we know, the first two rounds are the most impactful rounds. So Glorian 3 is going to be very impactful. And Glorian 4 is obviously going to be better than Glorian 3, but it's not going to be as impactful. Same as for Celestial 2. So add 2 piece Celest each time your unit die while you have 2 Celestial activated, then you can remove all buffs from enemies and remove all debuffs from your allies. And for the strikers, it says 2 or 3 because if you only want to buff the striker heroes, then 2 piece is fine. So an example would be if you want to build a Glorian team with Navi as your solo carry, then you kind of only need 2 strikers. But if you want a non-striker unit to be the carry like the team I just showed. So you will need 3 strikers. Like you can have 3 strikers, then your Eudora, for example. Eudora is not a striker, but she will also get the striker bonus. But beyond 3 strikers, and for example, 4 strikers and 5 striker are just overkill in my opinion. So you don't need to build a 4 striker team unless like it's just come here naturally. So yeah, and for the Avengers and Valianters, they like are best when they are at 4 piece or 5 piece because at 4 piece and 5 piece, Avengers not only grant you revive, it also grants you damage boost when you revive. And for Valianters at 4 and 5 piece, not only does it give you a lot of physical damage boost, it also gives you some damage reduction to help you survive. And for Monarch, so above 3 Monarch, your whole team will get the effect of like each instance of damage won't exceed like a certain percentage of their max health, and that's why it will like increase your survivabilities, especially against the stronger teams. But for the synergies without the numbers besides them, their effects are more linear. So like if you get 2 Doomsdayer is gonna be good, and 3 Doomsdayer is a little better, and 4 Doomsdayer is also a little better. So there's no significant breakpoint for the other synergies. Okay, so you might notice the Eudora icon near the Enchanter synergy. That's because Enchanter is really good with Eudora and arguably only good with Eudora because Enchanter's synergy effect is when synergy made and at 3 piece is any unit deal damage, there's a 10% chance to confuse the target. So at 4 piece and 5 piece, the confuse chance increase, and your units will also deal additional damage to like confuse target. So you can tell this synergy is really good if your units can deal damage multiple times, and Eudora can do exactly that. So look at her ultimate; it deals 10 instances of damage, and that could almost guarantee to trigger the Enchanter effect. Like even if you only have Enchanter 2 activated, that's why like Mastema is pretty good hero all of a sudden, despite his effect is like extremely trash. But since he's an Enchanter and also an Ethereal, so he's a trash hero, but he synergizes with the best hero in the game, and that make him playable. He will see play. You will see Mastema appear in Ethereal comps. Okay, so some people would say Phantom and Shadow Arc are one of the worst synergies in the game. well, they're not great, but they are really good in specifically Avengers and for Avengers unit. So for Phantom, it's pretty obvious. So Avengers is all about revive, and the Phantom synergy can also provide revive, and that's pretty good for Avengers. And for Shadow Arc is because Avengers unit gain can convert dodges to attack, and Shadow Arc provide dodges, and at 4 and 5 piece Shadow Arc will also grant like some bonus attack when your units dies, and that also synergizes with Avengers. And for synergies in D tier, they are pretty bad. I don't recommend focusing on them, but if you have the luxury to focus on them, or you simply don't have, like, not like anti-luxury, you don't have the celestial and demon, the good ones, and you are forced to focus on these one, then the Verdian 3 is kind of a spike. And Verdians is pretty good for Navi because it will slightly increase the chance of Navi triggering her passive. Same for Protector 4 because it will unlock the counter attack. But again, I don't recommend focusing on these synergies unless you have no better options. So yeah, this is a video for the synergy tier list. So I imagine how people will use this tier list is when they are doing team building and they want to decide whether to unlock Monarch or unlock Phantom. They will realize, well, Monarch is a better synergy than Phantom, so they can take these into consideration. Thank you for watching.